Hi. So it's really funny. My email platform apparently doesn't know how to tell time. Last week when I asked it to send at 1:50, it sent at 1:40. So then I figured, okay, let's change that. And then it messes up again. So hopefully you all got your invitation and you're able to get in. And hopefully my email software learns how to tell time. Okay, so again, this workshop is going to be real light, just some quick tips on how to captivate your audience. I think it's so important because we're in the age of content. There's so much content everywhere all of the time. And if you don't engage and captivate your audience, there's just no way that you're going to gain a following, that you're going to build your fan base, that you're going to have your followers. So it's important to engage them. If you really want to stand out, I think one of the best ways to do that is with copy. Of course I do. I'm a copywriter. But your copy is your voice. It's where people can connect with you. So without further ado, some quick tips on how to captivate and engage your audience with copy. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, great. Now, what I mentioned before. Oh, again, I'm Violetta Potter, and this is a quick training on how to captivate and engage your audience with copy. There is so much content on the internet, like so much. And if you want to build an audience, your writing has to set you apart. If your site doesn't captivate them, they're gone. So consider this. Every 60 seconds, there are 700,000 Google searches. That's every 60 seconds. And there are 5.3 trillion ads run every single year. That's a ton. And the average consumer processes 1,500 digital words daily. Your audience comes across words that sound basic, they're going to skip over it. They are bombarded with words and content and advertisements and all kinds of things. Turn. So if your copy and your words don't stand out, they're going to look past it and move on to the next thing. There's so much that's surrounding them that they have so much to pick from. Why this matters? Well, people want a brand they connect with. Your website and your blog is where your visitors decide if they want to stay in a relationship with you. When they land on there, it's like they're checking you out. They're checking to see, hey, what's this person about? Is this someone that I can continue with? Is someone that I want to follow? And then if it is, they go to the next step of the relationship and they give you exactly what you want, their email. Your writing is how they converse with you on the internet. And your writing is what can make you stand out. Because there's no one out there that's like you. There's no one out there with your voice. There's no one out there with your perspective. So your voice is very significant. Okay, so some quick tips on how to captivate and engage your audience. You first have to make it about them. Make it about them. This isn't about you, not at all. It's easy to think that you have to sell yourself. So you talk about all the amazing things that you do and all of your amazing perspectives, but they're not there to see about you. They're there to see about how you can help them. So even though they're on your site, everything on your site should be about them. So sorry about that. My mouse is acting up. Your copy is about selling a solution for your audience. Even if it's just about selling yourself, you have to sell yourself to them and how you will work for them. So make it about them. So your copy should be like a mirror. It should reflect their problems, their dreams, and their desires back to them. Remember, people care about themselves. And they're on your site to see what you can do for them. They're trying to see how you fit into their journey. So an example. So just a quick note. This was never live. She did not write this. This is just a screenshot I took, and I changed the wording to make it more from the I perspective. Was way overdue for making money online, but I learned how to expand my reach and establish my expertise. I did it with my easy to implement strategy. Button, expand my reach. Who's going to click on this? Who is it that, what is she selling me here? Is she selling me about how amazing she is? Because that's what it sounds like. Again, this is just an example. This was never real. But if this was what she had on her site, I'd wonder like, wow, this person is really self-centered. There's nothing in this that compels me and shows me that she's here to help me with my problems. What this looks like is that she's going to, sell me herself and how amazing she is. So automatically it turns me off and it doesn't make me want to click. But this is how it really is. You're way overdue for making money online. It's time you expand your reach and establish your expertise. All you need is this easy to implement strategy to get it going. And then the button is I'm ready to expand my reach. This whole thing is talking to me about my experience. She's meeting me exactly where I want to go. She's showing me that she's telling like, I know I'm here and I know I already want to make money. And she's telling me that she knows that. She's showing me that she knows who I am and she knows what I want. So this makes it much more effective and much more compelling because she is coming at it in a way that shows me she's there to help me and she is trying to be part of my journey. So much more compelling it to make it about the reader than to make it about yourself. So tip number 1, more yous and less I's. Quick tip number 2, make it personal. So be open and tell a story. If you're all business all the time, you're quickly going to get lost in the crowd. There's a lot of boring writing on the internet. But there's no other writing out there that tells your story or your brand story. People like unique stories. It draws people in. The brain understands things better with stories. They're more compelling and they move people to act more quickly than cold, hard facts. So consider the ASPCA commercials, the animal cruelty commercials. Everybody knows about animal cruelty. When these first came out, there was a lot of poking fun on animal lovers and how, oh, okay, there's animal statistics. There's a lot of animals who receive cruelty every year. They would give statistics, but it wasn't until photos and videos that kind of show and I put humanity there, but of course they're not human. They're like soul in their person. It got more attention. I don't know if you've ever seen these commercials. I'm not going to play it, but look at this. You see the picture and you see the statistic and it's telling a story. It's more than just a fact. It's more than just, oh, this is something you need to pay attention to. It's making me feel connected to this by showing me the face of this dog. Now, this next example is a little morbid or just really sad to talk about, but the same thing happened with the Syrian war and the refugee crisis. They've been talking about that for years. People haven't paid attention to it. And it's not that people don't care. It's just harder when you think about like, oh, this big war, what can I do about it? But as soon as they started showing pictures of children or families or people and what they were going through, people really paid attention because now it's a connection. You're better able to help one person in this story than you are this big war. So as soon as more stories started coming out about actual people really cared to make a difference there. So make sure that you use personal stories. You can use analogies. If you don't want to get too personal about yourself, you don't have to, but you can create a brand story and give it personality. Find a way to personalize your brand and make people care about your why. Quick Tip number 3, make it conversational. So this ties back to what we talked about last week, where you want to use concise copy, using contractions, making it more personable. But what I mean by making it conversational, your copy, is to actually use elements of conversation in your writing. Conversation is key. People don't like to feel like they're getting lectured at. People like to feel like, they're getting talked to. And no, I do not mean to write like you talk, because when you talk, at least when I talk, there's a lot of stop sentences. You stop in the middle of your idea. There's a lot of there's a lot of pauses, and writing like that is not effective at all, because you're going to confuse people. So use elements of conversation in your writing is what I want to be very clear about. Use elements of conversation. So treat it like a two-way situation. Ask questions. Are you ready to start? Be rhetorical. You know how when, like, just kind of like I'm doing right now, when you're talking and you're thinking and you're saying like, oh, you know how they had those commercials in the 1990s or 2001, whenever it was? I know you can't speak to me through the screen, but I'm speaking to you because I know that you're there. So I'm talking to you as if we're having a conversation, because that's more personable. And it's not that I'm doing it just because of that. It's just that I know that when you're trying to build a relationship, you have to keep it casual. You have to keep it two-way. So when you write a blog post, when you write copy, try to keep it two-way. And tell stories, include personal stories and examples, and then invite them to join in on the conversation. Offer a Q&A, ask for their comment. If you send out an email in your copy, ask them to respond with their experience, with their thoughts, with their ideas. The same with Twitter and Instagram and all social media. Ask them to join in on the conversation. When you're first getting started, a lot of people might not reply, but don't stop asking, because you're working on building a relationship. Remember, at the beginning, these people don't know you from Adam. They don't know you from anything. You're just this random person they found on the internet. So it's going to take a while for this relationship to build. But if you're consistent and you keep doing this, the relationship will start growing. So make sure that you keep it two-way. Make it conversational. Include elements of talking with people. So here's an example. Don't just tell. Don't just list facts. So let's look at this example from The Economist. And of course, I'm not trying to say it's an unfair example, but The Economist has a very professional style, a very professional tone. So their writing, of course, won't be this conversational style. And I'm not criticizing it. I'm just I want you to notice the difference. Everyone would like a piece of the next Google or Facebook, but the big venture capital firms do not usually raise money from small investors. Okay, I'm boring just reading about it, especially because right now I'm in a very conversational mood that I'm not just looking for facts. If that's what you're looking for, that works. But for the most part, when you're trying to build your personal brand, that's not what people are looking for. People like to build relationships with their brands. So let's look at this example. And this is from Maya Elios's blog. So write like you're engaging in a dialogue, like you're having a conversation. And this is her introduction to a blog post. Oops. Sorry about that. My mouse is acting up. Okay. I get it. Building your list is hard. But don't worry, my friend. Today you'll get all my tips for boosting newsletter subscribers. But first, let's get one thing clear. A huge list means nothing if those people aren't warm to your message or don't love what you have to offer. So fill your email list with people. I'll stop right there for the sake of time and reading. And then she ends with a question. So how do you build a healthy and thriving email list? Automatically, the tone is very different. As soon as you start reading, it sounds friendly. It pulls you in. It sounds like she's having a conversation with you. So just including these little elements as if you were talking to someone and having a conversation really make a huge difference to pull people in and engage them into the content that you're writing. This is one of my favorites. Add your charm. Show them who you are. So one way to show them who you are is by telling personal stories. The other way is by letting your quirks and your personality shine through. So things like, let's be honest. That's something that I say all the time. And it might be annoying to some people, but it's how I talk. They're the things that I say. So there are at least 1,000 people who talk about your same topic, who are trying to build the exact same business. Maybe not, it's not the exact, but pretty much the same business as you. But some people will want to hear it from you because they like you. But no one will like you if you sound like cardboard taste. Your writing is what makes you memorable. So again, it's not about writing like you talk, but including elements of how you talk and of your personality in your writing. I mean, even as I'm talking to you now, you can hear that I say things, I stop in the middle of my idea. If I wrote like that, it would be a disaster. But I do include elements of how I speak in normal conversation. So add your flair. And this is one of my favorite exercises. Make a list of words and phrases that you use when you talk. Why make a list? When people write, it's easy to get into stiff professional writing mode. And that comes from years of indoctrination of school telling you have to sound professional, you have to sound academic, don't do this, don't do that. So it's easy. As soon as you start typing, you're like, what's happening? I sound like a boring professor. And that's not the writing that we want here. You want conversational writing that shows your personality. So even though you know how you talk, because that's so ingrained at first, when you're not used to it, it's difficult to automatically include those words in your writing. And it takes practice. So having a list handy is super, super helpful. I did totally create this one. When I first started creating my brand, I wanted to make sure that it showed who I am and that it showed my personality. So this is exactly what I did, and I'll show you my list. You can see this is from August 24th, 2016. This is a screenshot from my Evernote on my phone. And here are just like some of the phrases I said. Now, I don't use these all the time. I use this one a lot. I use this a lot, but a lot of these really, really helped me at the beginning. Now that I've been writing more, I have like the lists and the words that I use consistently, and they're different than what is here now. But having them written down at first, because my list is much longer than this, was super helpful. Now, to make your own, I actually got stuck because you don't really pay attention to how you write. You just say what you say and that's it. You don't think about it. Like, who stops and thinks about those things all the time? So I wrote out all the things that I knew that I said, and then I actually paid attention. For a couple of days, I paid attention to how I talk and the type of words and phrases that I say consistently. And I also asked my friends and my husband and my family, okay, what are some things that I say all the time? And because I was aware of them over the course of about 2-3 days, I had a really long list of phrases and words that I use constantly, but that show my personality and how I speak. So now when I write, my voice comes through because I include those elements. And this one is highly, 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 highly important. No flip-flopping. Be consistent. So imagine if I write a blog post, kind of like I'm talking to you now, because a lot of my blog posts sound exactly like that. And then the next blog post I publish sounds really academic and professional. And then the next one after that, I'm like cursing up a storm and I sound like I'm this kind of badass, who has this super, super edgy personality. And the next time I sound really sweet and start saying things like, oh, honey, don't do this, or you know what I mean, dear. I don't talk like that. And if my writing is different every single time, you know what to expect from me. People like things that are consistent. People like to know what they're getting. They buy into things that they can depend on and that they can trust. So if you're flip-flopping all the time, you're not going to engage people and you're not going to captivate them because they don't know what to expect from you. So you have to make sure that you're consistently you. They have to make sure that you present a consistent brand and a consistent brand voice and personality. I know it's easy to say when you're reading so much content, be like, oh, I love how she used heck yeah, or I love how she used whatever cool word that people use. Don't use it just because you think it sounds cool. Use it only if that's really how you are. There's nothing so as unsettling. There are tons of unsettling things, but it's really unsettling to me. And I guarantee it's really unsettling to your readers when they read your blog post and then all of a sudden and it's like a really calm, sweet kind of tone. And all of a sudden your button is like, be a kick-ass girl. It's like, wait, who is this person? It's a little jarring because you're trying to measure, you're getting an idea of who this person is, and then they throw you in for a loop. So be consistent. Think about these things beforehand and create a brand profile and a brand voice that represents who you are, and then use it all the time. So that is all that I have for today. Let me escape here. So with this, they're really easy to implement tips. And if you work on one at a time and work on perfecting each one, it becomes very, very easy. But the main thing is just don't overthink it. Just be who you are and let yourself develop. Work on one little thing at a time and it'll improve little by little. And I guarantee that your audience will love it. It's those little things that show who you are, that show your personality, and that show that you really are invested, that people fall in love with. So if you have any questions, by all means, ask in the chat. If there are no questions, save your questions for the next week, or if you have any ideas of what possible topic in regards to copywriting you'd like me to answer or cover, send them my way. Any questions? Any takers? Okay, well, you have a happy Wednesday. I hope you found this very, very, very useful. Have a good one. Bye-bye.